Why, hello, greetings and salutations, my friends. It's a beautiful summer day with the sound of the cicadas kicking it. And I'm Dave Plus, and if you follow my videos, you know that I love to go out in nature and just take videos and learn about what I've seen. And if you don't know about my videos, welcome. Thank you, and you're in for a good one. I've put together a supercut of all of my favorite squirrel videos from the last year, so I hope you enjoy.
You know, I've always wondered ever since I was a little kid, what's it like to be a wild animal? Like, what would it be like to be a squirrel? But I can tell you one thing, it would be itchy. Squirrels and really all wild animals are plagued by all manner of biting insects, fleas, ticks, even mosquitoes will prey upon them and make them darn itchy. And the only defense they have is scratching, biting, eating them off their body, as you can see this squirrel is doing right here. And as I'm sure you've experienced yourself, sometimes when you're scratching, you've got an itch that's hard to get at. And that has led to something very interesting in nature: grooming. Grooming is the ultimate win-win. Actually, it's win-win-win. One animal gets relief from its itching, another animal gets a nutritious protein source with the buggies, and all of the animals start to develop social relationships. Those social relationships can lead to other forms of cooperation and even the building of community. And so I ask this question: when I'm watching these squirrels itch, am I watching the beginning of a new squirrel society forming in my own backyard? And if this squirrel kingdom was to form in my backyard, would I have fleas and ticks and biting parasites to thank for it? It's an interesting thought. Peace.
Okay, so this squirrel has gotten onto my bird feeder, and he's actually knocking seed down to the squirrel before. Ingenious, but not my intention. So I'm going to see what happens when I scare the squirrel away.
It's a human. Oh no. We gotta get out of here.
So I scared the squirrels away. Not going to lie, the squirrels haven't gone far. And yes, he is as mad as he looks. Okay, so apparently I have become the guy on YouTube who talks about squirrels. Not squirrels I keep in my house, but squirrels I see in their natural habitat. And I ask you this question: does it not appear like this squirrel has stripes?
Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the banded black squirrel.
Just another observation on squirrels. I feel like in the winter, squirrels will use their tail like sort of a scarf or a stole. Look at how the squirrel keeps the tail wrapped around their neck to stay warm in the winter. Is this normal squirrel behavior, or am I reading too much into it? Tell me in the comments below. Tell me what you think. There we go. Look at the squirrel looking all epic, bringing in its tail scarf to stay warm.
Bird feeder 2. Squirrel no score.
This is like the greediest squirrel ever. Look at his belly. He's collecting all these seeds in his belly. Is this a squirrel feeder? Isn't that crazy?
Is it feeding the squirrel down below? Not that guy. That guy. I'm gonna get you, squirrel.
This is an interesting tree because it has 6 squirrels' nests in it. There's one there. And I could go on. Take my word for it. The 6 squirrels' nests explains why, when you look at the park, there's so many darn squirrels, right? And they even kind of come in on you. Like this one. He thinks I'm gonna feed him. Hey, buddy. Not gonna feed you, buddy. Sorry. Whoa. You think I'm gonna feed you? Not gonna feed you. That's how you guys get so chubby, eh? Nom 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 nom. Nom 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 nom. Oh gosh. Oh, you don't, that's not a great angle for you, buddy. Your chins really show. Hey, buddy. I'm just surrounded by squirrels. This is kind of nice for me, though. You don't know this, but I like you guys. Hey, buddy, what's up? This is a little moment we're having. I'm sorry, I must be bugging you in your tree. And this is a couple of pumpkins that have been eaten by squirrels, because squirrels have a real taste for pumpkin. Nom 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 nom. Squirrel in a jar. Will he be able to get out? Let's see. Squirrel in a jar seeking food. See if this squirrel can get out of the jar. Ah, he got out!
Why, hello, greetings and salutations, my friends. I saw this squirrel building a nest and I thought, what a great opportunity to document the process and tell you a little bit about squirrels' nests. And the first thing I learned is that they're not called nests, they're called drays. And they're built for warmth and safety. They're sort of roundish, woven with an outer layer of twigs and leaves for structure and weather resistance, and lined inside with soft materials, moss, shredded bark, grass, and that's used for insulation. And if they don't have those things around, sometimes they'll use fur even, their own fur. And there are 2 kinds of nests for squirrels. There's the leafy drays that we see hanging high in tree branches, but they also can use tree cavities, and those are called dens. Now, females usually take the lead in building it, especially for the more substantial one used for raising the young. And it doesn't take that long. They can do it within a day or 2. Here's something interesting. A single squirrel will often maintain several drays simultaneously. This gives them escape options from predators or parasites. So think about it. If you're a squirrel and your nest gets overrun with parasites, you just move to another dray. You know, if anyone's ever had bed bugs, I'm sure they've been tempted to do the same thing. Am I right? Peace!
Okay, I forgot to mention there's going to be a few non-squirrel videos in here. I just got some other cool furry mammals that wouldn't have made it into another supercut, and I wanted to include them. And unfortunately, I'm going to be hanging my hammock between these two trees. So I hope that doesn't ruin your vibe, Mr. Chipmunk.
So close, yet so far. It's too. I don't. Isn't there poison ivy maybe in there? Yeah, that would be good, eh? Is there poison ivy there though?
This is a groundhog, and I saw it on Eastern Avenue in Toronto in a very urban area. And as soon as I saw it, I had to get out of my car and film it and make a little video telling you what I've learned about the groundhog. So, the groundhog, its scientific name is Marmota monax, and it's a member of the Sciuridae family. So, they're related to squirrels. And the most common names for groundhog are groundhog and woodchuck. Now, the woodchuck comes from the Algonquin word wuchak, meaning the digger, not from chucking wood. If you might have ever heard that poem, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? The answer is none, because woodchuck means digger. It's also called a whistle pig. I didn't know that, but I did know that they give off a high-pitched whistle when they're alarmed to warn others in the colony to hide. They're also known as land beaver, I love that name, monax, and siffleur, which is French for whistler. Groundhogs are true hibernators. So that means they go into a deep dormancy for 5 to 6 months, typically October to April, as do a lot of Canadians. During hibernation, their physiology changes drastically. Body temperature drops to about 2 or 3 degrees Celsius. That's crazy. And the heart rate goes from 80 beats per minute to 4 or 5 beats per minute. And they survive on their stored fat. They lose about a quarter to a third of their body weight. And then males will typically emerge sooner than females, sometimes by February, to prepare for mating. And you know what this might be related to. That's right, Groundhog Day. Now, Groundhog Day was originally a European festival related to Candlemas, which is halfway between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. German immigrants had a practice adapting badger lore. They called it Dachstag, or Badger's Day. And when they came to North America, there were a lot more groundhogs around. So the groundhog became the thing they looked at to indicate when spring was gonna sprung. And wait, there's more. They are super ingenious burrowers. That's a hard word to say, burrowers. And they have complex dens with dedicated rooms, including a bathroom. Also, I didn't know this, but they can climb trees if they need to, or swim if they need to get away. And as previously stated, they whistle for communication, which indicates a social awareness. And the last thing I'd like to mention about groundhogs is if you live in Toronto, one thing that's super fascinating is there is a colony of groundhogs that lives on the very busy Don Valley Parkway. Now, not the actual highway, but on the grass median dividing the north and southbound lanes. And if you're ever on the DVP just south of Eglinton, I mean, you're almost always going to be stopped. So when you're frustrated and you need to relax, just look over at the groundhogs playing in the grass beside you, and it might make your day a little bit sunnier. And so I thank you for listening, and groundhogs, I thank you for living. And if you've ever seen the groundhogs on the DVP, or you live in another place that has cool highway groundhogs, please be sure to share your story in the comments below. Like and subscribe. Peace.
This is a curious fox, and I'm going to wind up the window, but he's not jumping in. Yeah, 100%. Okay, this is the fox that won't go. He's very comfortable, and I'm going to try and scare him away. All right. I'm going to hold the chair up and go, I'm coming at you, fox, with this big chair, and I'm not... Okay. I know, he's not impressed. Get out of here, fox. Go! You're a very bold fox, and you're not really interested in going, are you? Eventually got the fox to leave, but he was super nonchalant about it. I had to throw a chair at him. Not at him, but kind of close to him. If you can see me now, it means you made it to the end of the video. Thanks! Be sure to like and subscribe, and maybe share down below, what do you find interesting about squirrels? I'll see you soon. Peace!